Bonjour, je suis très heureux de pouvoir vous présenter aujourd'hui Jason Shiv de la société Level, euh, qui est notre nouveau partenaire basé aux États-Unis, qui nous propose une nouvelle solution révolutionnaire de supervision de parcs informatiques, des outils RMM, avec la société Level.io. Pour vous donner un petit peu de contexte, Euh, vous savez que nous étions partenaires historiques de Enable et aujourd'hui, nous n'avons plus le contrat de distribution. Donc, nous avons trouvé une très belle opportunité qui va nous permettre de vous proposer une solution de RMM moderne, automatisée, facile à utiliser et avec des tarifs simples à comprendre et compétitifs pour vos clients. Donc, Jason est le CEO de Level. Il va nous présenter tout à l'heure avec une petite démonstration technique de la solution. Et vous pouvez poser vos questions dès maintenant dans le chat. Nous aurons, après le déroulement de cette présentation, un temps pour avoir euh, euh, pour pouvoir vous répondre à vos questions juste après les démonstrations techniques. La solution que nous proposons, la Level.io, c'est aussi pour vous permettre de garantir une continuité du service de notre part, même si on sait que Enable elle continue à distribuer la solution via un nouveau grossiste revendeur. C'est une opportunité aussi d'élargir notre offre avec une solution simple, plus moderne et plus flexible. Alors, Level.io, qui est Level.io? Donc, c'est un RMM fondé par des prestataires de services managés MSP pour des MSP, avec une approche métier parce qu'ils se sont rendus compte que les outils qu'ils avaient à leur disposition ne leur permettaient pas toujours de faire simplement ce qu'ils souhaitaient. C'est une approche qui est centrée vraiment sur le besoin réel terrain, à l'efficacité. C'est une solution qui est bien sûr cloud natif, quelque chose euh, qui est moderne parce que la société a été créée en 2020 et nous avons la chance de distribuer en exclusivité la solution Level en France. Jason, if you can introduce a little bit your company, make you a presenter, and then uh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your time. Let me this. Uh, my name is Jason. I'm one of the founders of Level, and I'm excited to share with you a little bit about our RMM platform. So maybe some introductions first. Maybe my background. I came from the MSP world. I ran an MSP for over 20 years and was able to sizing wise, I was roughly a little over 5,000 endpoints in that MSP, and have used all of the RMM tools and a lot of the MSP tools that you use today. I've walked in your shoes, so to speak, and felt some of the growing pains that you all feel as well when you're selecting your tool stack. And one of the things with Level is why did we build Level? Like, is there room enough in the market for a new RMM? And we felt there was. And some of the pain that we felt as an MSP was we felt like we were spending too much time managing the RMM tool and not enough time working on customer issues. So that was a pain that we felt with some of the legacy RMMs that were out there. Onboarding new technicians took too long, and RMM systems were complex, and getting them up to speed in those systems took more time than we thought. And out-of-date information in the RMM led to misinformed decisions for us. Sometimes the data that was in there wasn't accurate, and that led to poor decisions on our side. And so we wanted something that was modern, fast, simple, and up to date. And so that's why we set out to build Level. And so I'm excited to show it to you. We're going to get a quick overview here of some things, and then we'll jump into a more technical demo. Yeah, Level itself as a company has been around for a little over 5 years. We're fairly still new in that space, but we're rapidly developing and building new features, and we know what our MSPs need because we are an MSP in that regard, that we came from those roots. So.
OK. Pour vous donner une vision d'un seul coup d'œil avec un peu de hauteur, à part la technologie moderne, la fluidité d'accès sur la console qui permet de gérer de 50 à quelques milliers, 50 000 endpoints, une navigation fluide et rapide, accessible de n'importe quel navigateur, et tout est prêt à l'emploi parce que ça a été pensé de cette manière-là pour la fluidité. Un élément important, c'est un outil multiplateforme parce qu'il permet de superviser autant les plateformes Windows, autant les plateformes macOS et autant les plateformes Linux, et chacune avec quasiment les mêmes fonctionnalités. C'est presque identique. Il y a très peu de RMM qui proposent les mêmes fonctionnalités. Souvent, il y a un parent pauvre, le Linux ou des fois les plateformes Mac, que là, l'agent qui est déployé sur chacune de ces plateformes, il offre, à quelques exceptions près, les mêmes fonctionnalités. Le principal avantage de Enable, de Level par rapport à Enable, c'est l'automatisation facile. Il n'y a pas besoin d'écrire du code pour faire l'automatisation. C'est quelque chose qui se fait aujourd'hui avec quelques clics, avec la création de groupes, avec des événements. Et c'est assez graphique, assez simple. Et les techniciens, ils adorent utiliser Level. C'est beaucoup plus rapide de onboarder un technicien, ça se fait en quelques jours, que les autres plateformes demandent une formation, beaucoup de compétences, de recherche, des fonctionnalités, la création d'automatisation. Ici, ça se fait de manière assez graphique et avec des outils qui permettent de profiter de l'expérience, de best practice d'autres MSP qui ont déjà utilisé la plateforme. Donc, il y a une bibliothèque intégrée des automatisations prêtes à l'emploi. La surveillance proactive, c'est toute plateforme, bien sûr, elle vous l'offre en temps réel. Et puis, il y a des rapports personnalisés à votre image avec votre logo. Les bénéfices métiers, donc, c'est l'efficacité, la satisfaction des techniciens qui l'utilisent, parce qu'aujourd'hui, des fois, c'est très anxiogène à gérer l'outil plutôt que s'occuper de problèmes clients. Et Level vous permet de se concentrer justement sur le besoin client. Donc, c'est une solution qui est assez rentable parce que le prix est simple et vous avez voilà, une tarification mensuelle sans engagement. Il n'y a pas de besoin quelque part d'être lié à une solution pour des années pour pouvoir profiter de la plateforme. Un rapide comparatif avec des solutions existantes, c'est que vous avez, voilà, bien sûr, c'est fait par nous, donc c'est un peu tendancieux, mais on a les fonctionnalités interface web de déploiement rapide et des fois pour déployer sans agence, automatisation sans code, les tarifications sans engagement, accès distant chiffré de bout en bout, c'est du peer-to-peer, très sécurisé avec double authentification, des rapports personnalisables et le support en français local qui est disponible par nous, mais également, vous avez accès au support Level, et le support Level, il est fait par les ingénieurs qui développent la solution. C'est les mêmes personnes, donc l'accès à des fonctionnalités, au débugage, il est beaucoup plus rapide parce que quelque part, c'est les ingénieurs qui sont en contact avec vous, les MSP, ceux qui sont à la tâche au quotidien. Alors maintenant, on va aller dans la démonstration technique et je donne la main à Jason comme présentateur. Jason, it's for you.
Okay. You can see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's jump in. Oleg, thank you for that introduction and all those words, and hopefully everyone can understand me well enough to follow along. I'm speaking to my people here, so you're all MSPs. You're mostly technical, so I don't need to explain what an RMM is, some of the functionality, but I can demonstrate what we can do. So let's dive in. First thing I want to show you is our clean, simple interface. It's pleasant to work in, and we try to get the relevant tasks that you need to do in front of you as quickly as possible and strip out all of the other stuff that is just a distraction for you. And so this interface is clean, simple, approachable for you and your tasks and what you're doing. As an MSP, you'll group your devices and your agents by groups, and these will be each of your customers. So as an MSP, you'll have a folder for each customer. You can nest these as deep as you want to go. To install agents, we click here and we can install. As was said, we are cross-platform supported, so Windows, Mac, and Linux endpoints we can deploy with downloading the installer or just running a PowerShell command. You can as well install directly to a company folder, and that will update your install command. Once agents are installed, they'll check in and you'll see them here in this list. We can get rich information about our agents here. We have additional column sets that you can add and see information that is relevant to what you're doing. So as a help desk technician, maybe I have certain views that I want to look at. As maybe a sysadmin, I have different views. We can also filter on these views as well by platform, operating system, and other things. These filters can also be stacked on top of each other. So if I want to see my Windows 11 devices that were online, I can very quickly narrow down to those devices. And then from this list, I can select one or many devices and then start performing actions on these devices. So I can restart them, shut them down, run them through automations or scripts, and manually install updates, put them in maintenance mode, and more. We can also tag devices as well as move them from group to group. Tags are useful in our system because an agent can belong to one group but can have many tags. Tags can be used for organization. For instance, we can tag a device as a workstation or a server, or in this case, Windows 11. But tags can also do other things in our platform as well, like apply policies, monitoring, alerting, as well as run agents through automations. And we'll show you what that looks like. From this view, we can also favorite a device, as well as do some other tasks on that device as well. Some of the management tools we have from here are from this icon here as well. So we have built-in remote control within Level, and from here I can one-click remote control, and that will launch a new tab in my browser. We are 100% browser-based. No client is needed to be downloaded on your side to run remote control. We'll reach out, connect to that device, and stream it here in your browser. We can interact with that session with your end user here. We have multiple monitor display, scaling options, clipboard sharing, unattended access, as well as some additional tools over here on the right. We can go into a split screen mode and get device information, give you quick access to a PowerShell terminal from here. Can run commands very quickly. File system access. So if I wanted to navigate the file system, I can upload documents by dragging a file over from my desktop, double-click to download, as well as looking at the running processes of this device, and I can interact and stop a process, as well as the registered and running services. I needed to restart a service, for instance, the print spooler, I could do so with a single click. If I don't need these tools anymore, I can click it and get it out of my way. We established peer-to-peer connections as indicated up here in the top left, which means that my browser is directly connected to that agent, and it's a fully encrypted tunnel. There's no other infrastructure that you're going through, servers or otherwise, from Level that you have to traverse. This improves speed, latency, and security. This is a tab in my browser. I can have as many of these open as I want, and you can have multiple Level admins remoted into the same device at the same time as well. No restrictions there. Beyond remote control, we have the ability to dive in deeper into a particular agent. And if I click on the name of an agent, I get detailed view of the asset itself. One of the things that we point out is the security score. We have an agent and we check all of these things on your endpoint, check that they're in a good condition, and grade your endpoint and give it a grade. That security score is useful to help understand the security posture on that particular device. Among other things, and I won't go through all of these, but I encourage you to start a trial and reach out to your sales rep or account manager and go through, get some more information there. But I'll quickly go through a couple of these tabs. System will give you asset information about the hardware. The Manage tab gives you the same behind-the-scenes management tools such as the terminal, File Explorer, processes, and services, but behind the scenes without needing to establish a remote control session with that end user. This is completely transparent to the end user, and they have no idea that you're connecting and managing their device behind the scenes. Applications will show you the installed applications and their versions. Updates will show you any pending operating system updates, as well as a history of all updates that have been pending or have been installed. Alerts will show you any active alerts in the system. With every alert, we have a payload that is associated with that as well. Level is a monitoring platform as well, so we can monitor any number of things on any endpoint. Here's an example of a list of monitors that we're looking at on this particular device. These monitors are generated by a monitor policy, and you can see that that policy is applied here via this workstation tag. Let's jump into a monitor policy a little further and see what this looks like. So if I go to policies under monitor, I can see all of my monitor policies. If I just open one, I can see all the things that I may want to monitor, and each one of these on this list is a monitor. If I click on any particular monitor, I get the details of that monitor. And so here we can see that this is an event log monitor. We're looking for event IDs here, but we have many different types of monitors as well. So if I hit add new, I can see the different types that we have: CPU, connection, disk usage, event log, memory, processes, services. For everything else that's not there, we can run a script to gather information about an endpoint, perform some logic on the output of that script, and then alert and monitor on it. With our monitors, we also have the ability to perform self-healing or automated tasks. For example, if we wanted to monitor the disk space on a workstation, and I wanted to be alerted if it fell below 10% free space, I could set my threshold, and then I have a remediation section. So when an agent falls below 10%, I can then automatically perform an action. And so in this case, I may run a maintenance automation that's going to do a disk cleanup. And so now on any of my endpoints that this monitor is applied to, will automatically clean up the disk if it falls below this threshold. We also have the ability to send notifications when monitors are triggered and when they're resolved, as well as PSA integration for ticketing systems. Once you have your list of monitors set, you just apply the tag here, and any device that has the server or the workstation tag will inherit this policy and start monitoring these things. You can see the tags here, as well as the different monitors and alerts that are available. It was also mentioned that our automation is something that is unique and maybe shows some of the power of what RMM platform can do. So let's jump into some automations. In our automations, we have the ability to group them by different categories. So if you have maintenance or patching or security or software installations, we can group them by folder. We also will list all of your automations and the different actions and triggers that are associated with them. Across the top here, we also have a script repository where we can add any scripts that we may use in our automations. If I click on a script, I can see here our scripting engine. I like to point out the languages that are supported in our scripting engine here. We can put the body of the script. We also support variables, either from custom fields or variables that we create for the script itself. We also have a file repository where we can upload custom installers, files, config files, and other things like that, which can then be pushed down to agents as part of an automation. Let's jump into an automation so we can get a better understanding of how they work. Automations have two parts, triggers and our pipeline of actions. This top part here is our triggers, and we can have any number of triggers that can automate match agents to flow into the automation. If I hit plus, we'll see some of the triggers that we can add. We can trigger on a schedule. We can trigger when a new device is detected, when an agent enters or leaves a group, when a tag is added or removed, or some more advanced settings, webhook settings from external systems, or when a custom field value changes. For instance, if we wanted to do a patching automation, maybe we patch on a specific schedule, and we patch every Monday and Friday at a specific time. We can set that condition here and then match our agents here. All agents, only agents that have a particular platform, agents that have a tag applied, that belong in a specific group, like a customer, have a status or a host name setting. And so we can get very granular with these triggers. Once an agent is triggered, it will flow into our second section here, which is our pipeline of actions. This is an ordered list, and an agent, when it flows in here, will start at the top and perform each action in order that they're listed. Let me just hit the plus so we can see some of the actions that we can do in our automations. Again, this is to be no code or low code as possible. We have built-in actions that work cross-platform across Windows, Mac, and Linux. However, you can still run scripts, shell commands, and other things to gain power for what you're trying to accomplish. So we can restart, we can run scripts, and this will select from our script repository that we have. We can just run a simple shell command. So if I just have a one-liner PowerShell that I need to run, I can run that. I can alternately run that as the local logged in user or as the system. We can start and stop processes, manage services, and manipulate the registry. We can introduce some flow into our automation, delay, link out to other automations, or wait for an approval from an admin. We can distribute files, either from our repository or from a public URL. We have some actions in the RMM itself that we can do as well. We can set custom field values. We can create alerts. We can add and remove tags, as well as assign groups. We can put agents in and out of maintenance mode. Under our security section, we can install OS level updates. So for instance, if I wanted to install Windows updates, I can click this and any agent that flows through here will install Windows updates based off of these configured categories. If I click this, I can see here's all of the Microsoft categories of updates. I can select which ones are relevant to me. I can also introduce delay. So if I don't want to be on the bleeding edge of updates, I can delay for stability reasons. We also have some reboot options here. However, we also have additional reboot actions in our automations as well. We can perform those OS level updates across Windows, Mac, and Linux, as well as other things. Disk encryption, third-party application management. Winget, third-party updates, Homebrew on Mac. We also have some additional abilities to interact with your users and get approval. For instance, if I want to ask them a question and they're presented with an option to proceed or delay, we can reprompt after a certain period and force compliance as well. There are a lot of actions and there's a lot that can be done. One of the best things about this, and then we'll stop and see if there's any questions, but one of the best things about our automations is how visible and easy it is to see agents as they flow through this. I'm going to quickly add several agents to this particular automation so we can see what happens. As agents are matched against an automation, they'll flow into the automation as represented by these icons. And we'll see the actions that they're on. If I wanted to see the status of any of these agents on this action, I could click one and I see all of the steps that it's gone through. I see if the real-time output as it's occurring live here in this view. I can see success and fail rates. I can cancel the run as well as see history and logs. You really just need to see this in action, and I encourage everyone to talk to their account reps and sales reps to kind of get more visibility and get their hands on this platform, because once you start using it and you're able to see the power of our automation engine, you'll be really excited to automate things in your MSP again that maybe you haven't been in the past. There's a lot more that we just don't have time to cover right now, but again, I encourage you to reach out and talk to us so we can show it to you one-on-one.
Thank you very much, Jason. I think it's really important to make a trial and to discover this functionality in actions. So let's just resume what we saw. We, as Whatsoft, will be able to offer technical support in French. Donc, on va faire le support technique en français. Excusez-moi, je suis parti en anglais. Et également, on aura accès au support de l'éditeur en anglais. Comme je vous disais, c'est fait par des ingénieurs de Enable. On va vous accompagner aussi du point de vue marketing pour réaliser votre offre MSP avec des visuels, des fiches comparatifs et des vidéos. Et bien sûr, côté commercial, c'est aussi quelque chose qu'on pourra faire. Juste pour vous dire que quand vous lancez un trial, qui est, je crois que c'est de 14 jours, les tarifs, ils sont très simples, c'est 1,99 € par agent, mais vous avez 10 agents gratuits, 10 agents à vie. Même si vous n'utilisez plus la solution, après vous ne le vendez pas, vous allez avoir 10 agents disponibles dans la plateforme que pour les tests qui n'ont pas de durée de vie. Si vous voulez lancer le test, c'est très simple. Il y a un QR code, vous le trouverez aussi sur notre site web. Donc, pour que nous, on puisse vous aider en français, donc essayez de le faire directement à partir de notre lien et vous allez recevoir à l'email que vous avez indiqué donc un message pour permettre de lancer le test et configurer la plateforme. Et j'ai vu que nous avons quelques questions, donc je vais essayer de regarder par rapport à votre à l'arrivée. La question première, est-ce que il est possible de faire de co-manage, d'avoir donné les droits d'accès à la plateforme à un client final? Jason, I leave you, even if I know the answer, the question, is it possible to offer the end user, to technical client, let's say, access to the platform with limited rights? Co-managed service.
Yeah, so you can create users. We only bill on the number of agents. We don't care how many users, and so you can also restrict them down to certain groups, device groups. So.
OK. Donc, comme la facturation ne se fait pas par nombre d'utilisateurs de techniciens, oui, c'est possible de le faire. Et vous pouvez restreindre de droits. Il y a déjà des rôles qui sont prédéfinis pour qu'ils soient soit uniquement visibilité, soit accès à certaines fonctionnalités. Donc, on peut définir ça avec le client. Is the solution GDPR ready? Est-ce que
So yes, we are GDPR compliant as well as SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, and so we care about security and privacy, and so we adhere to all of those.
Okay, merci. The questions about Proxmox, is it any functionalities to supervise the Proxmox platform?
Right now, it's not going to work natively, but we are actively working on getting Proxmox added as a supported platform, and so we should see it supported soon. We do have heavy Linux support, and yeah, are always looking to add more visibility into endpoints and different types of devices.
Okay. Is it possible to make kind of security audit to have like a security score depending on devices? I mean, on server, workstations?
So the security score currently is something that is set on the device by us. However, we are looking at the possibility of opening that up to allow you to customize the security score. And so we have an extensive roadmap as well as we listen to customer feedback. And so I would encourage you to engage with us, and we'd be happy to talk through what that might look like. We have different ways to do it. I would encourage you to get on a demo or with us a little further. We can explore those options.
Ok. Donc, par défaut, le score, il est défini par l'éditeur, mais ils sont en train d'étudier la possibilité de l'ouvrir. Et si vous voulez avoir une démo pour expliquer comment le faire, donc ça sera possible de le faire, mais il y a des workarounds existants. How does it work, the third-party patch management?
So we integrate with Microsoft Winget, which is Microsoft's package manager. If you're not familiar with it, I would encourage you to go out and look to see what Winget can do. But Winget has over 10,000 third-party applications in its library and repository. And we can see all of the installed software on every agent, compare it against that library of 10,000 applications, and we can not only install those applications, but also update them to the latest version.
Ok, je pense que vous avez compris que c'est le service Microsoft Wingate qui est utilisé pour les mises à jour. Et il faut dire que Level RMM a un des scores les plus élevés au niveau du succès de mise à jour, parce qu'on sait que des fois, le patch management, ce n'est pas une science exacte. Il y a des fois des conflits, des difficultés. Ce que j'ai lu, c'est qu'il y a 97% de taux de réussite sur la mise à jour du patch, que ce soit sur du Microsoft ou du patch management tierce. Another question. Are there actions realized by technicians on a console logged somewhere?
Yes. So on each agent, we keep a log of every action that is performed by a technician, such as remote control, terminal access, file system, and those are logged. So you can keep that audit trail and see what your technicians are doing.
Is it possible the same to record the remote sessions?
Not today. The reason is that we do establish peer-to-peer connections, and those connections are fully encrypted. So we don't have visibility into those from our platform. If we wanted to record, Level would have to get access into that session, and it wouldn't be as secure. So currently today, that's not the case. We're looking at the possibility of adding that for customers who need that.
Okay. Do you have a functionality that can verify the compliance with, let's say, template configuration you establish and to see if there is some difference from what you want to have and what you have in reality?
The short answer is yes, we have some mechanisms to do that. The long answer is we don't have time in this demo to answer that question. So I would encourage you to reach out and let's schedule something. We'll show you how we can automatically check the state and condition of a device, alert on devices that aren't meeting that, and actually remediate that with automations as well. So yeah, let's dive in together.
And is it possible to have reports of this non-compliance?
The reporting, it would be done via dashboards right now. Again, let's talk through your specific needs, and we can address that. Reporting is constantly being added to, and we're looking for what our customers really want. So as we build out our reports, we really want to be in touch with what you as MSPs really want and need.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I do not have enough knowledge probably on this one. I don't know if it's talking to you. Do you have anti-tampering available? Anti-tampering. Does it terms say something?
Well, we do have a watchdog service that makes sure that the agent is highly available and running. However, if someone has admin privileges on their device, they could tamper with the agent and uninstall it. If your user does not have admin rights, they're not going to be able to manipulate the agent.
Ok, donc en gros, il y a uniquement les administrateurs, les personnes avec le privilège administrateur qui peuvent tuer l'agent. Another question. I don't think you have MDM capabilities. I mean, you are not supervising iOS and Android today, but there you have an application for iOS to be able to monitor in some essential functions. Am I right?
Correct. We are not an MDM. We have ambitions to delve into that and at some future date to get those agents in and monitor and manage them. So currently today, no, nothing with mobile devices.
Okay. Thank you. Merci. Well, I think je crois qu'on a eu répondu à la majorité des questions. Il y avait une concernant les serveurs, la langue. Donc pour l'instant, c'est encore en anglais, mais il y a des projets de traduction. La solution, elle est relativement récente. La société a été créée en 2020. Donc la solution, la première version, elle est sortie il y a quelques années. Vous avez une roadmap publique qui est visible sur le site web et vous pouvez y participer sur le site web de Level. Mais nous aussi, on pourra faire la transmission de ces informations aux ingénieurs. Et nous avons trouvé parmi les différentes alternatives, parce qu'il y en a des solutions américaines, il y a nous également on travaille avec Acronis qui est une solution européenne et qui aura pour ceux qui sont sensibles, qui ont besoin d'avoir plus de souveraineté. Voilà, on a cette possibilité, mais nous essayons de prendre les meilleures technologies disponibles et surtout avec un avantage de simplicité, du coût. Et voilà, on ne pourra pas cocher toutes les cases, toutes les doléances, mais nous pensons que nous avons un partenaire en face qui a la vision MSP, qui est aujourd'hui une structure de la taille moyenne raisonnable, mais sans doute qu'elle va grandir parce qu'elle a beaucoup de succès aux États-Unis et nous souhaitons importer ce succès en France et vous offrir une solution qui vous permet de vous développer également avec une solution qui ne vous tient pas liée par des engagements de longue durée et qui offre une multitude de fonctionnalités que peut-être nous n'avions pas eu avant et avec une performance accrue. Thank you very much, Jason, for your time. Thank you for the presentation. And so we will follow up with trial next steps, and we will produce a lot of documentation on the request of our partners in French. There was questions about French language. So the work is just starting in progress, and we hopefully will do some specific webinars on specific topics, as you said, and some presentation of the product, and we'll try to make it available in French as soon as possible. Have a nice afternoon, have a nice day. Merci beaucoup pour votre participation et nous attendons vos demandes d'essai et on le fera avec beaucoup de plaisir.